Today's video, we're going to talk about what is a good impression share. Is it 50%, 60, 70, 90, 95, 99? I'm going to tell you exactly what that number should be that you're going for. Teaser is it should be somewhere in the 90s, but I'm going to explain more so why that is and why, more importantly, you're not going to get that 90% impression share unless you pay a lot of money at the beginning of your journey running PPC ads for your business. This is all down to the machine learning algorithms that Google Ads has and how you have to play to the algorithm to show that you should get that 90% plus impression share. So I will go through how this mechanism works, how your reputation with Google plays into the impression share, or just how money plays in, because that always is obviously a factor as well, and how you can jump the queue if you do want to spend a little bit more money to get more impression share sooner. The one thing that I talk about all the time on this channel though is the better of job you do as an advertiser, more money you obviously are going to make. The reason for that is, more than anything else, is because Google gives you preferable treatment. That is, if you can get a click-through rate on your ad and a conversion rate on your landing page, that is from click to lead or click to sale, more than your competition that you're up against, Google's going to want to send all the best quality traffic, and there's really no middle ground, if you will, or very little middle ground. Why? Because Google can send that user to anybody. There's 4 ads at the top of Google. There's usually 10 people cycling in and out of those spots in the competitive market. Everybody wants the customer. Google pretty much knows who's going to buy and who doesn't buy based upon that person's activity before they make the search that you want to show up for. And guess what? They give the user to the person who they want to encourage to stay around, that good person that is likely to turn into a customer, to the person they want to stay around, and the person they don't want to stay around or care less about, they give the person that's least likely to convert. Because today's environment, with everybody using smart bidding, Google's got to send that person that they know is most likely to convert to somebody. And guess what? They're sending it to the person who helps their users out the most. Part of that, if you will, if you get to the on Google's good side where they see they want to do everything they can to keep you around as an advertiser, they give you a higher impression. Conversely, if you do a job, they're going to give you the lowest impression share or make you pay out the ass to get a high impression. And with that, it literally does not pay to be in the middle ground anymore. You either are going to be in the top 20% of usage metrics, click-through rate, and conversion rate in your niche space, or you're not going to make any money. And making some sales isn't good enough. You need enough sales per unit dollar or ad dollar that you're spending, or you're going to not be profitable after your expenses, after delivering that product or service, after paying the ad spend, and so forth. So you either go all the way or nothing. The good thing is, going all the way isn't that much hard, or very hard, given most people in your niche space are barely trying. It may not seem that way. Even if they have a lot of money to spend to do it right, they still aren't doing it right. Because then they're just going to spend more money and they're not going to actually set up their ads better to get a better click-through rate and a better conversion rate. You could come in and utilize the key things that always work and that users always want to see from you, and put those together for Google to use and advertise with, and then everything just falls into place. You have the better metrics. Google then wants to send everything to you as much as they can. When you start out advertising, they think you're like the 90% are going to be in and out in a couple months, and they send the worst quality user to you. They charge you more per click than anybody else. And you have to earn your way to the other side of this algorithm where they know they give you the preferable treatment. Given most people aren't going to be able to meet the standards to get that preferable treatment, you have to pay to get clicks to get to the other side of that. So as you start out as a new advertiser, your impression share is going to generally start out like 30, 40% in that range, okay, to start out with. And over time, if you've set up your ads correctly to have a better click-through rate, to have a better conversion rate, Google is going to say, this person is now our favorite advertiser. They're doing better than the person that was our favorite, and we want to start showing them more as much as possible, or more than what we were before, we'll just say. So your impression share will start climbing. Respectively, it's going to climb a little bit at the beginning because they're going to get click-through rate data right away. Then the conversion rate data comes in sufficient enough quantity for the algorithm to analyze how good your landing page is. Then your impression share goes up a lot more. And you'll end up getting a 90+% impression share for your keywords that you're trying to advertise eventually, once this conclusion is made about your ads being better than all the other ads and landing pages you're going up against in the Google ad space. How long that can take? Well, it depends on how much money you have to spend. If you have 50 grand to blow Google to figure out how good your stuff is, technically you can get that down to 1 or 2 months, okay? Or if you got like most people, you can afford to invest, let's say, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month into ads, gather data and get to the promised land with all of this, then it can take, 9 months. It depends on the level of competition in your space. If you have like one competitor, so to say, then it can happen in a month. Heavy competition, meaning you have like 10 people in and out of the 4 ad spots on the top of Google there, like I was talking about earlier, it can take your 9 months. So the competition is the biggest factor, but in terms of number of advertisers, but then with that, how do you measure up against the other advertisers? The better job you do on the click-through rate and conversion rate, as I mentioned before, higher the impression share Google's going to want to give you. You can spend more per click to bypass what Google ultimately thinks about you. If you do a good job as an advertiser, you don't have to spend more to get 90% impression share or higher. But the problem is, if you're going to simply just brute force bid more so you get the 90% impression share, if you haven't set up your ads to make Google think you're at least in the top 20% of advertisers, you're going to have to pay so much per click to get 90% impression share that it won't be profitable for you to do it anymore, which is what Google wants in the first place. They set up their system to charge you either $10 a click for a keyword or $2 a click for a keyword based upon how good of an advertiser you are on click-through rate and conversion rate wise. And they'll let you pay $10 a click, but you'll realize, you can't sustain that because it's not profitable at $10 a click. And at $2 a click it is. And if you're a good advertiser, they'll give you the 90% impression share anyway. So you can actually speed up this getting to the impression share that you want, 90+% territory, by spending more money quicker at the beginning, but you're going to maybe not be able to afford that. It's not so much time as it is number of clicks. Basically, you're going to need a few thousand clicks for Google to see what you got, how well your setup is in terms of ad and landing page setup to get the high click-through rate, the high conversion rate. And if you're in a high cost per click market, like home renovation, where a click can cost $30 a click, it can take a hell of a lot of money to get those couple thousand clicks. And therefore, 9, 12, 15 months before they really fully realize it. You could jump the gun and climb this ladder to 90+% impression share, but it'll be costly. You can also climb this ladder to 90% impression share without putting the effort in to have the better ad and have the better landing page, but it'll also be costly, see? So you either put the money in, so you can spend more money at the beginning of running your campaigns or account, have Google figure things out quicker to get to the high impression share. You're just basically taking that time that it normally would have took and compressing it as a result. Or you can just do more to make your ad landing page seem like it's better. Because ultimately, if your landing page and your ad gets click-through rates and conversion rates 3 times higher than any of the top guy that's advertising now, they're going to actually also learn quicker and get you there and push you up the chart quicker. Because as it comes to statistics, and they're doing testing, it takes a volume of data to know that something actually is better, but the wider the margin between how good it is and the second best advertiser is, the less data it takes for them to realize you're actually better, if you will. The more a test wins, if you will, when you're doing, as it comes to testing, split testing, the less click data it takes to realize that something's actually better. Anyway, those are the levers, if you will, money and then quality of setup that will get your impression share either higher or lower. More money you spend, the better your setup is, more your impression share is going to be, and vice versa. That said, if you set up your ads the right way, and it's worth it, I don't care who you are, what you are, to set up the ads so you're better than your competition, so you get all the rewards from Google, they're not going to just have you get to 90+ impression share. They're going to have you higher in the list. Out of the 4 listings on the top of Google, they're going to want you at number 1. They're also, if you're good enough, going to make your ad bigger. We've had ads that were so much better than the competition. They don't just display your ad. They're going to have 6 site links underneath the ad to physically make it the size of 2 ads. Because when they really see something that's way better than the competition, they damn well want to send every last user they can to you. And that's one of the main ways that they do it. They just make the ad so damn big. When you actually see the ad space, it's basically there's no other ads on the screen showing. accept your ad. And it makes sense for them to do that. They want people to get a good experience, so they come back to Google and click on ads in the future. Otherwise, if they only gave it the ad space to the person who has the most money, the person with the most money isn't going to have the best strategy. Therefore, the experience for the user is not going to be as good, and then they're just going to ignore ads because of that. If you're wondering why I say 90% impression share is good or good enough, practically speaking, the difference between 90 and 99% impression share is so trivial that what I always do is just go simply for anything above 90, we're already good. We're getting everything we can get. Yes, you can get a slight bit more by being 99% impression share, but it's so hard to get 99% impression share that I don't even worry about it. Or there's marginal utility to you to go from 90 to 99 that I don't even worry about it. That is because it will take more than a 10% increase in cost per click or bid to go from 90 to 99, that it's not worth it to go from 90 to 99, if that makes sense. So it'll often take tripling or increasing the bid 30% to get that last 10%. So for all practical purposes, I don't even worry about it. And the sweet spot in terms of getting the highest profit you can is to bid 30% less and settle for 92% impression share instead of 99. Because at the end of the day, the margin on those extra sales are going to be less, and you're not actually going to make more profit. The same thing applies, by the way, as a side or parallel. The number one ad spot on Google when there's 4 ads, being at this top spot, is going to get you more clicks. If you were going to bid more per click to get here, though, it's not generally worth it because guess what? The conversion rate is not as high on that first position. The highest conversion rate out of those 4 ad spots is number 3 or 4, because people usually, when they're not reading what is on the ad, they just click the first ad. You get a lot of false clicks in that case, which is why it converts less. So utility of paying more for a click that's not going to convert the same, even though you will get like 3 times as many click in the first position as the 4th position, it's a wash. You're not actually going to make more profit at the end of the day being there. So I'm going to be just going to try to go for that 3rd spot because that's where I'm going to be optimized for the most profit at, if you will. Because like I said, the people that aren't reading what they're supposed to read on the ad and know if the ad for the company or what's being offered is what will meet the user's needs, you're paying for a lot of extra, people who are reading the ad, but a lot of people also with that aren't reading the ad. So even though clicks might be double, of the doubling of clicks you get going from position 3 to position 1, half of those people are false clicks that didn't read your ad. Naturally, what you should always be trying to do is get it to where even if they accidentally clicked the ad and did not read it, that person could buy from you. And the way that you do that is set up your targeting right. That should always be your goal. That your goal shouldn't be this ad only applies to half the people I'm showing it to, and the people that it doesn't apply to, hopefully they read it and realize it doesn't apply to them and therefore don't click. That is by far make the most money given, like I just said, half the people don't even read the ad before they click. They just think whatever Google shows them must be something that's going to work for them because Google's so smart and everything else. I just wanted to throw that other antidote in there. When you have the best click-through rate and the best conversion rate in your space, or at least get in the top 20, they're going to charge you way less per click, way less, 5 times less. Or should I say paying 20% of what you started out with when you first started advertising. They're going to get you more clicks through higher impression share. They're going to get higher up in the list, bigger ad. They're going to send you a higher quality user, so the people that are least likely to convert, they're just not going to have your ad show up for those people anymore. You're going to get a higher conversion rate as a result of that. And so all these different benefits come to you once you've actually put the work in and then invested the money for the system to realize what you got. And you're going to make 10 times as much money doing it right versus doing it wrong. And in that scenario, given your overhead, you may just not make a profit at all not doing it right. And for all practical purposes, hey, I don't work for my health here. If we don't go ahead and do the work to be the top advertiser in a lot of spaces, isn't going to have a net positive ROI for the business that we're helping or the business that we're running and operating and doing it for. Because we have an agency and I also have a couple e-commerce businesses that we run. And either do it right or you just don't make any money after expenses. So I would rather go with overkill and assume that I need to do it all to make money so that when I've invested the money for Google to learn what we have, I'm now making money versus doing it half-ass, advertise long enough for Google to realize what we have, and then realize that Google sees it as not as good as the competition, then having to stop, then do it the right way, then pay to have them evaluate what we did, new setup that we have, and then start making money. A, because it's going to waste money, paying to have something evaluated that isn't going to be better than the competition and therefore work. More importantly, all that wasted time. If you have any questions about anything I covered here about impression share, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, you absolutely should, as the information on this channel is coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad testing on Google, Facebook, and so forth, guarantee results for our clients, and the stuff that we find that works, as well as what doesn't work, I give to you on a silver platter on this channel. It's literally millions of dollars worth of advertising research given to you on this channel completely for free, to build up an account for yourself and make millions of dollars running ads for your business. So if that is your goal, you want to subscribe to this channel and you want to subscribe to it now, not wasting any more time. You can also find my blog at guaranteeppc.com/blog. My blog has actual screenshots with step-by-step strategies that you can use to replicate the results we're getting on your own ad accounts, specific strategies you can copy and paste into your own ad accounts that are proven and work time and time again. So whereas this channel has high-level information about concepts, that has actual step-by-step strategies you can use. It complements what we have on the channel very, very well, and therefore you should check it out as well. If you're looking for an ad agency that can help you do the work that's necessary to get you the results that you're looking for your business, this is exactly what we do for clients at our advertising agency, Guaranteed PPC, and we do not charge our clients fees until we get you a certain minimum lift in your profitability of your ads up front, in excess of what our fees actually are. So you're basically only paying us out of what you stand to gain up front, or from what your campaign is going to do right out the gate, if you will. We'll get you to a minimum of profitability with your ads if you're just starting something up new, and we agree to take you on as a client, because we don't work with just any client. You got to have something we got to know we can do well with up front, using our experience, knowing what does well, what doesn't do well. We can do some estimates for you as to what it can do and what the guarantee for you would be. But if you want to see if we can work together, reach out to me at guaranteeppc.com. I'd be happy to have a quick conversation with you about the opportunity, review what you're doing, and so forth. As a final note, we also sell ad templates. I've talked about this on my previous videos. It's very popular. If you're looking to just get results, and we've worked in your niche market before, and we've worked in over 100 niche markets in the last 10 years, you can take the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that we've already used or are using in your niche market in a geographic area that you're not in, and just copy and paste that into your account, get the same results we're getting, cost per lead wise, ROI/ROAS wise, but none of the work and none of the time it took us to get those results, which in a lot of cases is millions of dollars worth of advertising spend to find out what works the best in your market. So at the very least, you should reach out and see what results we got in your niche space, because you could be saving yourself a lot of time and effort. And you can also, like we've had several people do, use these templates to start whole other businesses. If you wanted to get into e-commerce, the easiest way is to just take one of our templates that will sell as a known item you can pick up from China, and start your business revolving around the ad campaign that works for it already. And you can do that because our client operates in country A and you can run it in country B. Or if you want to start a really good passive income business, you can sell leads. We got templates that will generate leads at an affordable cost that you can mark up and sell to people in that space that don't know anything about advertising. So anyway, there's some different opportunities there for you as well. You can reach out to me at my firm if you're still interested in that. With that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next